bulletin de l'information sur For You Télévision. La première partie de ce bulletin d'information en langue anglaise, c'est avec vous, Jiksa Nabisi.
Good afternoon, Mbara. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to unfold the first part of these midday bilingual newscast with elections in Kenya, where Kenyans would head to the polls this Tuesday, August 9, to vote for their new president. Four aspirants have concluded campaigns ahead of the elections, but what are the stakes ahead of tomorrow's elections? Tekewana reports.
Deputy President William Ruto, 55, and veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga, 77, are leading in opinion polls in the race this August 9 to succeed term-limited President Uhuru Kenyatta. It is a bitter battle between the former foes turned allies, vowing to lead the relatively stable nation in a volatile region. Ruto calls himself hustler-in-chief, which is a reference to his humble beginning as a chicken seller in Kenya's Rift Valley, to a heartbeat away from the most powerful office in the land. Meanwhile, Odinga, on his part, says he's contesting for the last time after unsuccessfully run for the top job 4 times. According to the presidential aspirant, he had no plans to run for the presidential seat this year, if not of enormous pressure from his party supporters. Aside, the two most heralded presidential candidates are Professor George Wajakuya and David Wahiga, both termed to be the underdogs in the political spectrum of Kenya, but are poised to spring a meaningful surprise in the contest this year. However, to win either candidate will need to win more than half of all votes cast in the election. Some observers say the outcome could be so close that it could send Kenya into a runoff for the first time. Earlier on, Odinga and Ruto said they would accept the result of the election if they lose, as long as the process is free and fair, though there have been growing concerns from the candidates who have been questioning how credible the elections body would manage the elections. The race is expected to be close, with neither of the leading candidates polling significantly higher than the other. If no candidate wins more than 50% of the vote cast, the election will go into a runoff for the first time in the Kenyan history. The dice is thus cast for the elections to hold hitch-free Tuesday, August 9, 2022, as one thing is certain, that a new president shall emerge on August 15, 2022 in the East African country of Kenya.
We stay in the region, but this time around with Ivory Coast, where to mark the 62nd anniversary of Ivory Coast's independence, President Alassane Ouattara on Saturday pardoned his predecessor Laurent Gbagbo as a way to reinforce social cohesion in the country. Moni Manu now reports.
The president of the Ivory Coast, Alassane Ouattara, has pardoned his predecessor Laurent Gbagbo, who was facing a 20-year jail sentence for political unrest. In a statement on Saturday to mark the 62nd anniversary of the country's independence, Ouattara said the move was in interest of reinforcing social cohesion. Ouattara also asked for Gbagbo's bank accounts to be unfrozen and for his life annuity to be paid. Gbagbo became president of the Ivory Coast in 2000 but was arrested in 2011 after refusing to concede defeat in the elections. Civil conflict between Gbagbo's forces and supporters of Ouattara led to the deaths of around 3,000 people. Gbagbo was acquitted by the International Criminal Court (ICC) for alleged war crimes committed during the conflict. But in 2018, he was handed a 20-year jail sentence for the robbery of funds from the Abidjan Central Bank after the election. He has always denied the charges. Ouattara also agreed to release 2 of Gbagbo's closest associates who were convicted for their role in the post-election unrest. In 2021, after the acquittal by the ICC, Gbagbo returned from exile to Ivory Coast and has kept a low profile since then. Ouattara stood for a 3rd term in 2020 election, a move which critics said was unconstitutional. He has insisted that he will not exit politics until Gbagbo and his predecessor, Henri Konan Bédié, agree to do same.
From one region to the next one, I'll take you to Central Africa, where Chad's transitional government as well as rebel groups have signed a peace deal in a bid to pave way for national reconciliation slated for August 20 in N'Djamena. The agreement was signed in Doha, Qatar after several months of talks. Take a listen to this report.
Qatar's foreign ministry has announced that Chad's transitional government, alongside rebel groups, signed an agreement in Doha on Monday, August 8, in a bid to pave the way to a broader national reconciliation dialogue later this month. The signing ceremony for the agreement, which included the parties agreeing to take part in the National Inclusive Dialogue, was attended by more than 30 rebel groups. These agreements follows 5 months of peace-building talks in Qatar between rebel factions and the Central African country's interim military government, headed by Mahamat Idris Deby, who seized power following his father's demise last year. According to Deby, the dialogue is the first step towards planning long-awaited elections, highlighting a statement made by the Qatari Foreign Ministry on Sunday. The agreement paves the way for the start of a comprehensive and sovereign national dialogue in the Chadian capital N'Djamena, which aims to achieve comprehensive national reconciliation, the Foreign Ministry stated. Deby declared himself head of the Transitional Military Council in April 2021 after his father Chad's longtime ruler Idris Deby was killed while visiting troops fighting the rebel insurgency in the north. Initially, his council said it was overseeing an 18-month transition to democratic rule, but it has shown little sign of organizing elections as the deadline nears. Qatar's Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman, speaking at the signing, called on groups that had not signed to join the agreement, all for peace restoration. The national dialogue, which is meant to include a wide range of groups and parties, as well as the government and rebels, is currently set to start on August 20.
East, West and Central Africa will now move up the African continent to the north, where Sudan's transitional government has announced plans of changing conflict narrative about the country. This is in a bid to boost the tourism sector and exploit its huge tourism potential. The details are with you, Mwanze Joyogo.
Sudan's government has put out plans to change the conflict stereotype narrative the country is often viewed with. The country actually boasts of unique attractions such as the confluence of the blue and white Nile rivers to ancient temples and pyramids. Now Sudan wants to exploit its huge tourism potential. According to its Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Babika Mohamed, the country has a strategic plan of 5 years in which efforts will be put into developing all tourist destinations to a high standard with really good facilities. He also adds that many know Sudan as a conflict region, especially with the Darfur incident. The nation possesses a rich history of civilizations and has 3 times the number of pyramids in Egypt. Other attractions include the site of Meroe, the ancient capital of the Kushite kingdom, where there are hundreds of Nubian pyramids. In June 2011, the archaeological sites of Meroe were listed by UNESCO as World Heritage Sites.
Now out of the continent to Italy, where Italian authorities have recently ruled out racism as a possible motive for the killing of a Nigerian national. The victim in question was strangled to death by an Italian citizen on July 28, 2022. We stay with you, Mwanze Njoyogo.
Authorities in Italy have dismissed racism as a possible cause for the killing of Alika Ogochukwu, a Nigerian in cold blood, by an Italian national. According to videos circulating on social media, the victim was strangled and clobbered to death in broad daylight. His death was filmed by many without any attempts to intervene physically.
I watched it. I saw the video. Just when the boy was struggling hard, very, very hard. My husband was struggling like this. The boy was still struggling into death. No, that boy, I don't know what my husband did to him.
Protests have taken place in the affluent Italian town of Civitanova Marche as demonstrators are demanding the authorities to recognize the role race played in what happened to Ogochukwu. Nigeria's government on her part has condemned Alika's death, and the country's Foreign Affairs Ministry has urged Italian authorities to bring the culprit to justice.
Thank you, Mwanze Joyogo, for that report, though it was a sad one. Ladies and gentlemen, that puts a stop to the first segment of this midday bilingual newscast over 4U television with me, Jix Nabise. Over to you, Mbala, with the French section. Une fois de plus, bienvenue. Débutons du côté de la République centrafricaine. Ils étaient plus d'un millier de manifestants le samedi 6 août 2022 dans les rues de Bangui, la capitale centrafricaine, à exiger la tenue d'un référendum pour modifier la constitution du pays et permettre ainsi au président Touadéra de briguer un troisième mandat. Les manifestants en couleur du Front républicain brandissaient des banderoles affirmant « Touadéra doit continuer ». Justement à ce sujet, rendons-nous du côté de Bangui, la capitale centrafricaine, où nous avons sur le terrain notre envoyé spécial, Ngalé Bokeya, qui revient justement sur les détails de cette manifestation. Bon après-midi à vous, Ngalé Bokeya.
Bon après-midi à vous en studio, bon après-midi à tous les téléspectateurs de For You Media. Alors nos équipes sont donc déplacées du côté de Bangui, la capitale centrafricaine, afin de couvrir la grande manifestation du 6 août dernier pour la modification de la constitution. Alors plusieurs organisations de la société civile se sont donc regroupées avec des milliers de personnes qui ont organisé des marches un peu partout dans le pays. Notamment ici à Bangui, on a noté la présence de plusieurs personnalités à l'instar du Premier ministre, chef du gouvernement. Il était donc question pour ces manifestants de demander un référendum qui permettrait au président Touadéra de briguer un prochain mandat. Depuis Bangui la Coquette, nous sommes Sanguijol, Ngalé Bokeya, For You Media.
Merci à vous pour ce compte rendu. Continuons donc du côté de la Côte d'Ivoire, véritable signe d'apaisement. Le président Ouattara a accordé le samedi 6 août 2022 sa grâce à son prédécesseur et ancien rival, Laurent Gbagbo, sous le coup d'une peine de 20 ans de prison dans son pays. Cette grâce arrive justement peu après une rencontre le 14 juillet 2022 entre Alassane Ouattara, Laurent Gbagbo et un autre président, Henri Konan Bédié, tous deux opposants. Rappelons que tous les deux ont été invités à participer le dimanche 7 août 2022 aux célébrations de la fête de l'indépendance à Yamoussoukro, la capitale politique ivoirienne. Et puis allons du côté du Tchad, le PCMT signe désormais un accord d'une quarantaine de groupes de rebelles à Dora. Pour le président du Conseil militaire de la transition, le général Mamad Idriss Déby Itno et ses différents interlocuteurs, rien dans le contexte actuel ne justifie que les Tchadiens se mettent eux-mêmes en marche de processus de réconciliation nationale. C'est justement ce que nous dit Koumabité dans ce reportage.
C'est acquis. Un accord a été signé entre le PCMT et les politico-militaires à l'issue des pourparlers tenus à Doha, où se trouve le chef de l'État depuis quelques jours. Ce lundi 8 août 2022, après son tête-à-tête avec l'émir du Qatar, le président du Conseil militaire de transition, le général Mahamad Idriss Déby Itno, a rencontré la délégation gouvernementale et les membres du comité technique spécial chargé des négociations avec les politico-militaires à Doha. Un point sur les pourparlers qui ont commencé depuis le 13 mars dernier a été fait au chef de l'État. La rencontre a abouti à la signature d'un accord avec une quarantaine de groupes de rebelles destinés à lancer un dialogue national le 20 août 2022 à N'Djamena. Parmi les groupes rebelles, il y a le réfractaire de toujours, le Front pour l'alternance et la Concorde au Tchad. L'un des principaux groupes rebelles n'a pas signé l'accord malgré les espoirs des médiateurs à Doha qui ont cherché à le convaincre jusqu'à la dernière minute. Pour les groupes armés tels que l'Union des forces de la résistance de Timam Erdimi et l'Union des forces pour le développement et la démocratie de Mahamad Nouri, ne trouve aujourd'hui aucune raison de rester en marge de la politique de réconciliation nationale engagée par le Conseil militaire de transition et son président, le général Mahamad Idriss Déby Itno. Le dialogue national inclusif, dont la date est fixée le 20 août, est un rendez-vous à ne pas manquer. Cette signature intervient après 5 mois de négociations entre le Conseil militaire de transition tchadien et les groupes armés qui ont débuté en mars après plusieurs reports pour mettre fin à des décennies de troubles et d'instabilité au Tchad.
Merci à vous, Koumabité. Poursuivons du côté de l'Afrique du Sud. Le secrétaire d'État américain Anthony Blinken a entamé sa tournée africaine par un déplacement à Johannesburg. Pour de nombreux Sud-Africains, ce séjour en Afrique du Sud, en République démocratique du Congo, au Rwanda, a pour objectif de contrer l'influence russe sur le continent.
Le dimanche 7 août 2022 encore, le président était à Soweto où il s'est entretenu devant un monument rendant hommage à Hector Peterson, un garçon âgé de 12 ans abattu par la police en 1976 pendant la lutte anti-apartheid. Rappelons qu'Anthony Blinken devrait profiter pour donc évoquer lors de cette visite la position de Pretoria quant à l'invasion russe de l'Ukraine. Et puis sortons par là de l'autre côté du monde, plus précisément dans le continent asiatique. Nous sommes en Chine. Le pays poursuit ses exercices militaires autour de Taïwan. L'armée chinoise a annoncé le lundi 8 août 2022, malgré les appels des Occidentaux, la poursuite d'exercices militaires près de Taïwan, toujours pour protester contre la visite sur l'île revendiquée par Pékin de la numéro américain Nancy Pelosi. L'armée populaire de libération continue de mener des exercices pratiques interarmés dans l'espace maritime et aérien autour de Taïwan en se concentrant sur des opérations conjointes anti-sous-marins et d'assaut en mer, a justement indiqué dans un communiqué le commandement du théâtre d'opération de l'Est. C'est tout pour cette édition d'information. Avec vous, Dix Nabissé.
Thank you, Mbala. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be it for this midday bilingual newscast over 4U television. In the meantime, keep watching our programs and God bless the world.